Oh, man. Check this out.
And he really knows if that comes out, he might go to prison. So who is that? Well, there's Michael Moore, and there's Nancy Pelosi, and there's a few others who are the face of the Democratic Party right now. And he really, to a great extent, is the brains of it. He is one of the top 3 or 4 people who actually run the Democratic Party now. And I saw the headline this morning about Bill Maher and how he said they're going to surround Congress and not let them vote to put whoever Trump nominates in. So then I actually watched the clip and I was like, oh my God, they're really doing it. Because we saw this a year ago when Congressman Scalise got shot. And then they had a friend of the shooter on, a big Democrat. And they said, well, he wasn't a bad guy. He was a hero. He was fighting the monster Trump. And Will Blitzer nodded his head. And now you've got them saying, kidnap Barron, put him in a cage with pedophiles. Trump's a Nazi. He's got to be taken out. And then showing photos of what Obama did 5 years ago with kids in cages. Since been.
Holy shit. Can you imagine if people actually do this? What's going to happen? It's going to be a freaking massacre. Because our president is hated by some, but the masses love him. And the patriots, oh man, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for these people who try to swarm Congress. It's just going to be really bad. Oh my God.
Upgraded, and that happens anywhere when you come to the country illegally. You get locked up till they find out who you are. So they've created this atmosphere, and there's no doubt. Here's what I'm here to say, and I'll go to the videos. There's no doubt from the Soros documents we've got and the admissions that they have decided that the Russiagate's failed. It's a fraud. They're behind the 8 ball now because it's coming out that Spygate is thousands of times bigger than Watergate. So the attempt to set people up like Nixon did now is blown up in their face. So the whole house of cards is in free fall right now. Just imagine it in slow motion, house of cards collapsing. And a year in politics is like a millisecond. And so they see the cards falling or the Jenga tower falling. And they don't know what to do right now other than their cornered rats go for broke. And he basically says that. He says, this will be the last American president if we don't rise up and overthrow him. I want to play the clip. What do you mean, last American president, restoring the country, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, Supreme Court ruling, even the outgoing justice that, of course, Trump can block people from 5 countries that don't even check who you are when you get on an airplane. Somalia? We're going to just take random flights. Oh, another plane's coming in from Somalia. That 5 minutes on the street, a woman's kidnapped and raped. No Western journalist can even go there in like a decade. You will be kidnapped. I talked to HBO folks, a producer I know. I've been in a few films he produced, and he was trying to get the funding and even had former military ready to go in, and the insurers wouldn't do it. That's another issue. That's how crazy this is. Failed states where women and children and men are sold on slave blocks because under that interpretation of Islam, they're not humans. And it's all a big joke. So they are pushing this. They mean to go for broke. And they're panicked because the economy's coming back. On the world stage, Trump is
adored.
Been dealt royal flushes over and over again because he's actually trying to fix things. Makes him look like he's got a 5,000 IQ, probably only about 180. But the point is that when you try to put a fire out, instead of trying to put gasoline on it, funny, you might be able to actually put it out. And so he's going with policies that are known to reverse the problems we've had. But the globalists want consolidation. I mean, even CNN says Trump savoring his success leaves much of the world wondering what's next on peace deals and the economy and on taking care of veterans and on thousands of factories coming back to the U.S. and the booming economy and 4% growth rate, on and on and on. They don't know what to do. So their answer is, okay, the Russian thing's fake. Okay, there's no sex stuff. Stormy Daniels. They keep going, Republicans are hypocrites. They're always against, people being liberal or having sex, but now they don't care. Trump never ran as a Puritan. And they say he never abused her, and it was a long time ago. And most people supporting Trump aren't even what you call
consensual
right-wing conservatives. They're just Americanists, common sense pragmatists that know the Democrats and others have sold out the communist Chinese and the Fortune 100 that have said they were going to totally bankrupt and conquer this country. We're tired of 270% tariffs on thousands of different items against us, like Canada has, like dairy, and then we have nothing on them. Trump's like, I'll put 100% on you till you stop that. Oh my God, how mean. You're doing 270. They can't believe that he's not a psychopath up there scheming over the power, figuring out what cabal to sell America out to. The lobbyists the doors have been shut on them in D.C. They don't even know what to do right now. And then Michael Moore, this monster, comes out and really signifies and rings the bell or fires the starting gun on the shot heard around the world, just confirming after weeks of them saying, confront Trump supporters, run them out of restaurants, surround them if they're pumping gas, get in their face, all of this. And the Democrats putting out little weak provisos. Oh, no, let's be civil. Let's be nice. And then their surrogates go out and do this to have Moore slither out like Jabba the Hutt incarnate and sit there and signal this and say the things he said to the whooping Los Angeles, Democrat applause. Lets you know that they mean business. And if you want to know what their business is, document cam shot, please. Here's an article from January of this year, exclusive to us, later confirmed by the FBI. George Soros internal documents sent to us by a brother of an Antifa member that got in some trouble. We'll leave his private issues alone. He went into his brother's house and found all the stuff. His brother's a professor. And found all the battle plans of how they work with Blue State and Blue City police, the leadership, to stage attacks, try to mainly get black Americans to join them in crime to cause a race war. But how they are given exact training on what to burn, where to attack. The police direct them with maps, where they're allowed to commit the crimes. They'll even have unsuspecting police that are ordered to stand down that they are able to attack for the news. And this is all to create a civil war mentality in America. Documents, detailed plan for civil unrest. And martial law in Baltimore. I think I'm going to ask the president to tweet that. Regardless, this needs to get out. I'm going to leave it at that. This is coffin nails politically to them if this gets out. So they're desperate, they're cornered, they're making their move. And now in this whole climate, Michael Moore, very slickly, Michael Moore's smart. He didn't want you to have guns, but he's got 6 bodyguards. I've videotaped him myself. He tried to walk on the street to ask him a question. They were physically attacking me. It's on video in my film Martial Law. And he spaces it out. He says, oh, the Democrats, we got to do our job. But our job is to surround the Capitol, not let them have their vote, block that. And he says, oh, we got to have an uprising. We've got to rise up against him, quote.
Bad idea.
And it just goes on from there. Oh, he wasn't elected. He's a dictator. No.
Bad idea.
People in the states voted. And then their votes are bundled legislatively into the state. And we know millions of illegals voted. So if you look at it, Trump won the popular vote as well. But we have that so populous states can't dominate smaller states. So they all have an amount of delegates. And that's the reality. And there were many Democrats elected in the Electoral College vote and not in the popular. They know that, but they just keep... I had a lady in the street yesterday go, how dare you, Alex, support this dictator who puts children in cages? And I said, ma'am, it was Obama with that activity, and what do you expect? They're coming into the U.S. from collapsed areas. She said, shut up, Nazi, and then ran down the street. So they're trying to wind up. Michael Moore is not going to do the killing, but they're trying to get everybody wound up for this violence to somehow intimidate us and intimidate everybody else. No, you've only gotten us to show up and wake up to what's happening. Your intimidation.
That's right. Michael Moore will be in his cushy little house, and he'll be pulling strings and pushing buttons and surrounded by all these guys with guns and a security, because he's a chicken shit. Just like all those other politicians that said we were going to war and then put patriots right in the middle of it to be killed so they could make money off of missiles and guns and ammunition and Hummers and other military vehicles. Yep, those are the people. They create wars out of thin air. It's pretty bad. That's what's happening. And we're not buying anymore. But, you know, the good old boys and the patriots are going to rise, and it's not going to be good for the people who start this shit, because patriots, they'll end it. And maybe it's what's necessary to maybe have peace in the world again. Bye.